A team that I actually didn't see in the brackets. Had I seen them, I definitely would have called them out as one of the top 4 teams for sure. So this should be a real cracker of a game. And as ever, I'm Metis, and I'm joined by Pulse. How are you doing, Pulse? And I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this question. Are you looking forward to this match?
Yeah, 100%. I'm doing fine, thank you. And TMsK versus Acer. This is, like Clash of the Titans. It's going to be an exciting game. And I hope that Acer's mentality will be better this game. I think they were kind of underestimating the opponent last time. And this time around, I hope they're going to play as well as they were doing last night. And I expect that to be the case.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe there was a tiny bit of, underestimation, kind of assuming that they would cruise home to victory against Icons of Vanity, but Team Megashock are a very, very good team. So Team Acer should be on their best form here. We are going to have Galio, Vladimir, Malphite, Karthus, Shen, and Urgot banned out. A couple of fairly strange bans. I mean, they completely make sense, but you don't often see a Galio ban. And also, Malphite, he's not necessarily the first person that comes to mind when you think about bans, but again, very, very strong champion. Nocturne was free. He's going to get elected for Team Megashock, and on the opposition, Pakistan has locked in Soraka very swiftly, and we are waiting for Kellever to go ahead and to lock in. So, any thoughts about the Galio ban?
Alright, yeah, I was just thinking about those bans myself, but Galio is very strong in the sense that if you pick Galio, you win pretty much all of those 3-man invades, those small sorts of skirmishes. Any of those skirmish fights, you win outright. You can invade well with it, you can get Drake fights with it. It's just such a strong pick outright. And plus it shuts down a lot of AP bursters who want to just kill the lane opponent, and it's Galio. You're not going to be doing too much to him, especially as he puts Bulwark onto himself. And again with the Malphite ban. Malphite I feel has been like a hidden OP for a while. He's just come out of nowhere, and he's really strong right now. I would put him alongside some of the tier 1 picks at top right now, especially in jungle as well. So I can see why again they banned him out.
Yeah, Vladimir was also banned, and again, Vladimir is one of those kind of champions that you do often see getting eliminated. So, do you think it's potentially a case that Team Megashock are setting up for a relatively squishy mid-champion here, that they just simply don't want to be burst down from Galio?
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense actually, and that the bans that they took out there, it's all sorts of, we don't want you to have that lane dominance. We're going to take something that scales well into later mid-game, maybe late game. And if you take a look at this Misfortune pick, that's interesting. Good synergy with Nunu, but I haven't seen a Misfortune for such a long time.
Typically, I only really see Misfortune picked when you're against a character like Mundo, because of her impure shots are so good for the it basically reduces the health, the healing done. So I guess that's targeted towards the Soraka pick. But yeah, I'm the same. I think Misfortune is definitely not one of those ADs that you say picked out too many times. I thought for a second that we were going to get an Annie pick, which would have just completely blew my mind, seeing as we already have an Ahri, but they quickly switched over to Ezreal. So it looks like we could have the Ezreal Soraka bot lane pairing here alongside Nautilus. Nautilus was not banned, and in my opinion, he's an incredibly strong jungler.
Yeah, with the Annie pick, I thought we'd just gone back like 6 metas.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nautilus is that. I think he's probably the best jungler right now, along with like Alistar and Maokai. Support junglers are in, and yeah, obviously we've seen Nocturne a lot as well, but we'll see how it goes for them. Yeah, the thing with Ezreal, he synergizes really well with Soraka because it's that battery healer. He can just keep on going. And that being said, Annie potentially picked up by Steve, so we'll see what happens over there. The thing with Misfortune is that she kind of scales off towards late game because her ultimate isn't as strong as her auto attack, so that scales off. There's no real point in using it apart from the range to maybe get a pick off. It's nice to pepper out on the opponent, but late game there's no real use for it. Mid game is really strong, and early game she's got a lot of power in lane, but she's got no escape. That you could kind of say her strut as an escape, but she gets hit and then it's lost. So bit unpredictable.
Yeah, her E as well, which I think it's called Make It Rain, I believe. It's like a slow, but again, it's not really an escape mechanism. It's not really great CC either, which is one of the reasons you don't really see her picked very often. And as you say, I completely agree that late game, her bullet time, her ultimate is really the only thing that I use it for is to just clear wave of creeps.
Yeah.
Just get lots of gold. In terms of team fights, it doesn't really do too much. It just bounces off the opposition. They're just like, okay, did he just hit me? Fine, cool, we'll just continue on. So yeah, Misfortune is incredibly strong. When the impure shots are procced off, it's a lot of damage, and it's very, very quick bursty damage as well, especially with a Q a double up. So Annie has been picked out, so perhaps that's one of the reasons why they did ban the Galio in the first place. They wanted one of those kind of squishy champions, and the Galio would decimate an Annie, especially if he can land the Idol of Duran. So it makes sense that they'd ban him out. We are now waiting for 760, and we could be seeing a Kale pick, which I've only really seen become massively popular after MLG, but they have switched over to an Aurelia again.
Yeah, here's the thing with Kale. I really like Kale, and I feel she should be picked more. I definitely think she's tier 1. She's got a lot of laning presence. Obviously means you kind of like a bruiser, but the ultimate is incredible as well. But that aside, Annie, Misfortune, like Nunu, it's just, what? Are we in the same meta here? Team Mega Shock? It's just... What's happening? But I don't know, Annie's still strong. It's just that she's kind of outclassed by a lot of APs right now. She's not got the mobility. Her ultimate is kind of situational. It's very difficult to land without flash. That being said, she completely rips into people, and a good Annie ultimate means GG. That's pretty much, you've won that team fight. Same with Galio actually, so I suppose that's her counterpart in that respect.
Yeah, but what I do like the Annie pick, and the reason for that is obviously a passive. Every 4 or 5 spells, you get the stun. And where Ari's weakness comes in, her strength is her mobility. She can move around a lot, she can dart backwards and forwards with a Spirit Rush, but Annie can shut that down with a stun. A well-placed stun and ultimate on top of Ari will completely destroy her. And just seeing that at Super A's has left the champion select, so... I think we're going to be getting a relatively speedy remake here, but not too sure what's going on. I'm sure we'll find out in the lobby chat. Unfortunately, I don't think you're in here, Paul, so you can't see this, can you?
No, I'm just looking at the stream.
Okay. So, Team Megashock are asking, what is going on, guys? And Acer haven't replied just yet, so... yeah, we're kind of in the same position that you guys at home are. We are just waiting, biding our time until we can find out what the deal is, and hopefully we'll be ready to go live very, very shortly. There we go. He's already back in, so lovely jubbly. Let's get back into this one once again. And yeah, teammates are saying go, so there we go. Oh my, nice. My game just bugged.
Hooray!
Oh god, this day is just turning out to be a nightmare.
Curse of the Sharkus, man. It's just
It's like, yes, ready to go. Oh, for some reason I got kicked out of Champion Select. Lovely. And it looks like everybody else is still in Champion Select, so I'm pretty sure that's a bug on my side. Sweet.
Yeah, at least we should be able to do it over a friends list. It's not as bad as the other day, however, where, I don't know if you were around, but the spectator mode was just freaking out, and there was so many bugs happening. Like, you could time travel to like 2 hours in the game in a matter of seconds, which was one of the issues. I mean, you know, it's just a minor one with everyone zipping over the map and flying into walls, etc. But you know, that's fine.
Who needs to see the whole game? Let's just see the end. Let's just see what happens right at the death. Yeah.
Well, I saw an aerial walk off the map, which I don't think is usually possible, but, you know.
It's not something I've encountered too often, I'll be honest. Right, so I can't spectate the game just yet. I think I have to wait until they actually get in to the nitty-gritty kind of stages of it. So, we're both... I assume that you're all in the same boat as me, right?
I am, yeah. Well, I'm just taking a look at the stream right now. That's usually how I think.
Same. So yeah, I'm just having a quick look on this stream now. So we are in the same position as you. So yeah, I'll just read out the 2 team comps again for you. It wasn't a placement pick. It looks as though that was just a client bug. So it's going to be Annie, Misfortune, Nocturne, Kennen, and finally Nunu for Team Megashock. And for Team Acer, Ari, Ezreal, Nautilus, Irelia, and finally Soraka. Normally I'd be checking the rune pages and such right now. Kind of difficult to do when you're not in Champion Select, so I apologise for that. But we'll be waiting for the delay to tick down, which is 3 minutes. And I can now spectate the game, so let's see if I can join on and have a look at some of these rune pages. Anybody that's shouting out to you that you want to check here, Pulse?
No one at the moment.
Well, I'm quite interested to see how Misfortune's going to build, because I'm an AD player myself, and I always like to have a quick look at how the pros do it. So he's going to go for 13 flat armor at level 1, 21 magic resist at level 18, and plus 16 physical damage. For masteries, it's going to be 19, 11, 0. 19 going down to the Sunder, which is the 6 armor penetration, and the 11 in defense going down to Veteran Scars, which is plus 30 health, and also Indomitable, which is reduces incoming damage by 2. So interesting things there from Misfortune. And let's have a quick switch over to see how Israel Pakistan is going to be coming into this matchup. Runes flat 13. For armor, magic resistance flat 12, and physical damage is flat 15. So fairly standard stuff from him. In terms of the masteries, actually identical almost. In fact, it is identical to Misfortune. 19, 11, 0. Veteran Scars taken, Indomitable has been taken, and also the Sunder. So very similar builds coming into this game from the two teams. So,
Yeah.
team composition-wise, Pulse, which of these two do you fancy have the upper hand going into that late game stage?
Okay, so you have Nautilus, he's got a lot of CC there. You've got Irelia as well, gonna dip onto those carries. Ari scales fairly well, Soraka maybe not as much, but does have some scaling. Ezreal kind of needs to go for that mid game unless he builds Infinity Edge first rather than the Trinity Force. Meanwhile on the other side you've got Annie, good late game scaling, double AP, so more focus towards that mid game. New Moon's Fortune, kind of again scaling off to mid game. Got good peeling power from Team Mega Shock. So then looking at the more mid game finish, I'm looking at Acer. Again, sort of mid game, but got a bit better scaling. Unless Team Mega Shock do get some kills and get those AP carries fed to the point where they can ride the curve, basically.
Yeah, we do actually see a cleanse coming out from Misfortune as well, so it's obviously a bit worried about the charm from Ariel of the CC that Nautilus brings to the table alongside Irelia's Equilibrium Strike, and makes sense. I mean, one thing that I have noticed recently actually, Paul's not sure if you have yourself, but it seems that heal has kind of gone out of favour since that nerf. People often pick up a cleanse or perhaps an ignite instead. They don't really go with that heal as much anymore.
Yeah, a heal is a really nice summoner just because it heals your entire team, not just yourself. It's a lot of health overall. But it's ever since people started taking Ignite, which is kind of counter meta in itself, because you take Ignite, you're basically stopping the heal from going off in the enemy carry, and it's of course it's more burst as well. Why take heal if you could just like cleanse out of a situation and then flash or something, so you're out of the situation completely. Yes, okay, it's good in trades, but then again so is Ignite, so I can see why it's falling out of meta, especially with some of the new picks that we're having. A lot of CC based picks. CC is definitely in at the moment, always been strong, and I suppose AD carries just want to get out of that situation, and especially because Misfortune lacks the escapes we were talking about. Cleanse is basically that one that she can pick up.
Oh, Soraka is letting the team down. Everybody else has a skin apart from Super Ace. Shame on you, dude. Shame on you. So, we are going to be joining into this game very shortly. If you have just joined us, this is 4PL Play for Fame. Round number 3 between Team Acer and Team Megashock has all the makings of an epic encounter. It's going to be a best of one. All the games, this one and the next one, which will be the final. This is the semi-finals. Next game will be the final. Are both best of one formats, so very small room for error. And if you make any huge mistakes, there is no coming back. You are down and out of the tournament.
Yeah, and hopefully Acer will not have the start that they had last time. I know they went out with that amazing comeback, but there you go.
Alrighty, just having a quick time check with you because my game seemed to lag at the beginning. Are you on 10 seconds now?
Yeah, just turning 10 seconds.
Alrighty, cool. So we are about the same time. It's always important to check that one out. So we're reading from the same hymn sheet. Either way, here we go into the early stages, the infancy of this match. And again, I'm going to pose a question to you. Who of these two teams do you fancy would come out on top in that level 1 engage if it kicks off?
Okay, so Annie, what are you doing? Yeah, she's charged to stun, so they're ready for this one. I'm interested to see how it goes. I mean, Dota Pro, of course, does have some CC. They have a lot of burst from Ezreal, and Soraka's there to keep them alive with the Astral Blessing if they get the focus down. Selva could potentially have the charm as well. And then again, Misfortune, a lot of burst damage, auto attack, follow up with the double up. a lot of damage right there. Then you got the stun from Annie, and then Kennen as well. I'm probably going to give it to Team Megashark right now, but I don't think either team are really going to go for the invade. It's not really worth it on either part, unless for the aggressive ward, but it's too even to really go for that level 1. It wouldn't make sense.
It definitely looks like neither team is too interested in these early invades or early all-out team fights, as we have very sporadic, actually, even kind of battlefield from both teams, lining up all 5 players spread out evenly. Now with the minions imminently spawning at 1 minute 40, you are going to see those wolves coming up, and of course 1 minute 55 will be the blue and red buffs respectively. We are going to see Ezreal pushing down, Puckystyle firing out a Mystic Shot. He has taken Mystic Shot first. I'm not sure what you feel about Ezreal, Pulse, but I know a lot of AD carries do like to pick up that Essence Flux first. They feel like it gives a tiny bit more harassment because, of course, Essence Flux goes through minions and will actually hit people on the other side, whereas Mystic Shot will collide with the first target that comes into the sights.
Yeah, this is the thing with Essence Flux. It tears through your mana significantly more than the Mystic Shot, and plus it's slightly shorter range as well. Yes, it gives you harass, and yes, actually, if you hit it on your enemies or your allies, it ramps up his passive, which is really, really nice. Good for those objectives, good for the pushing, and good for the team fights as well in that sort of mid-game. So it makes sense to max it, though it's kind of a debate on Ezreal players in general, what they want to go with for the more harass with the Q, or if they want to take their W for less harass, but easier to land.
Yeah, definitely. I personally like Mystic Shot first. I like his Q, so I would go alongside Puckystyle here, but I have seen a plethora of Ezreal players who like to take the W first and really harass, especially with the Soraka, as you say, is more mana costing, but Soraka is the kind of character that you want right by your side if you're going to be spamming away, because she can just keep giving you that mana. Either way, any early aggression from either junglers, answer is a resounding no. Both going to pick up their reds. Will we see any ganks on the card? Dota Pro has just dinged to level 3. Nocturne likewise is level 3. And here comes Nautilus towards that top lane. Irelia is slightly pushing the lane though, so he's going to have to be a bit patient here. And in the meantime, Nocturne is pushing up towards mid. So we have 2 potential ganks. They are going to start to engage on towards that Kennen. Kennen being forced to flash away as the Reg line had his name written all over it. In the meantime, in mid lane, we're going to have a flash burnt there, as well as Kelliver with Ari will flash away just to save her life. So both ganks were successful in the sense that 2 summoner have been burnt away with those flashes.
Yeah, and this is the main thing with Annie. She needs her flash to initiate because she's so short range compared to a lot of mages right now. That's her problem. So without that flash, it's going to be very difficult for her. She'll probably have it up by the time she's 6, and that's when she has tippers as well. So she's good to go for now, but there's going to be less aggression, and I'm not sure how well it's going to go for her considering Ari will probably outlane her.
Yeah, both APs in mid have burnt their flash, so both could be relatively static right for the taking until they hit 6. Of course, Spirit Rush will give Ari the maneuverability that she needs to get out of dodge, but Annie is quite a static champion. She needs to be quite careful here, especially with no early wards down, as you would expect to be the case. In the meantime, Kennen is still back towards his tower, so Irelia has just dropped a level behind, but she did go back to spawn, picked herself up a Doran's shield. Kennen hasn't actually went back just yet, and doesn't look like we're going to have any early kind of first bloods going down. Nocturne is lurking once again. Is he going to go for the gank? Well, he has put a ward down. Are they going to be coming in? He has flashed in, then Unspeakable has been popped off. The charm did go out, but that will be a very dead Ari. Nice play from Nocturne, realizing the flash was down, and Ari was ripe for the taking, coming in and taking that first blood. So great start here from Team Megashark.
That was really nice. There was a slight misplay because he didn't chain the CC, but it wasn't even enough because Ari just got completely burst. Meanwhile, at bottom,
yeah, Puckystyle should be okay. I can't see him going down. Indeed, he won. The Ice Blast did come out from Nunu, but unfortunately, from Team Megashark's perspective, it wasn't enough to claim the kill onto Ezreal. And of course, again, one of the great things about Soraka, in fact, hold that thought just for a second, because I just saw that Nocturne pushing down towards bot lane. There is a ward in the river, so I'm sure that Team Acer know exactly what's going on. Indeed they do, as a Mystic Shot is fired out from Puckystar, which lands right between the eyes of Nocturne. So he's going to pull himself back. Blood Boil has been popped off, and the Ice Blast as well. Misfortune is going to be putting some serious damage down onto Ezreal. He's only on about 100 HP there, being forced to jump away with that Arcane Shift. But he will be just fine for now. But some early warning signs for Team Acer at that bot lane. Nautilus, in the meantime, is actually going to push his way down to bot as well. I think he just showed his hand a bit too early there. Came out of the bush, he was spotted, and instantly Nunu and Misfortune started to be very, very defensive. Need to be careful because Misfortune went back in again, being forced to flash there. Pushing into that bot bush. Maybe a tiny bit too aggressive at the end of the day, and actually wasted one of her summoners in the process.
Meanwhile, mid, Nocturne just picked up the kill onto Ahri once again. That combo, such a nice ganking lane for Nocturne with Annie with the stun from her passive Pyromania. So yeah, it's already looking quite good for them, considering Ahri should outlane Annie anyway. She's to the point where she's probably past that, and she's got level 6 right now. She could go ahead and start roaming, and she's nearly got flash as well, so she's got that flash Tibbers, which is pretty much her signature, and we'll see how that goes for them in the near future. Nautilus already picked up his Philosopher's Stone, and he's in a good position right now. He's not going out for the all-out aggression, because usually you want to rush the mobility route if you want to go down that route, but he's gone for the gold profile, which is a more sustained route, as long as your team is not going to go ahead and snowball massively.
Uh-oh, he has been caught out here. We don't have the slicing maelstrom popped on from Kennen. Dota Pro's help is disintegrating. The Ignite as well will do the trick there. Kennen picks up the kill. Transcendent Flight is used from Irelia, but seeing that third player coming up, she will dart back. In the meantime, at bot lane, Ezreal has claimed the kill onto Misfortune. Against the run of play, has to be said that Nunu and Misfortune have been pushing, being really, really aggressive. But as soon as Soraka starts to put those points into Astral Blessing, the amount of armor is increased, the amount of healing done is increased, and suddenly the tides can turn very, very quickly, and Nunu is forced to back. So, a bit of a 1-for-1 exchange there overall, but 3-for-1 on the cards in favour of Team Megashock.
Pukistar putting 2 points into his Mystic Shot and then 2 points into Essence Flux, which kind of makes sense because Essence Flux basically tells you, I'm going to go for those trades, and considering it's a Soraka lane, usually he doesn't, but it worked out for him, it worked really well. And against a Misfortune Nunu, which is a lot of burst in itself, they start winning, their Snowball going to get a few extra hits on you. I was surprised they won that, and I think they just caught Misfortune off guard right there, as she was pushing so far forward, as you said. And of course, that Astral Blessing, it's very difficult to trade off against that sort of lane.
For sure, yeah, it definitely is, because I think it's kind of... a lot of people underestimate the power of the Astral Blessing bonus armor that it gives you. Suddenly, the AD carry is very, very tanky out of nowhere, and it can really be the difference between a kill and a death. Puckystar did go back, actually finished off the Brutalizer, and I like this. I mean, a 10% cooldown reduction. In fact, look at top lane, we are going to have some more action as Irelia will go down from Kennen, who somehow manages to survive on about 30 HP. He did have Ignite ticking down on him, but it didn't quite do the trick. So 760 will die for the first time in this game, and Kennen will be recalling. What's he going to pick up? He is going to go the 2 Doran's Blades route alongside the Sorcerer's Shoes. You see this a lot of the time. Having said that, the Nocturne has just jumped in at the bot lane onto Puckystar. Can they claim the kill here? His flash is off cooldown. The heal has came in, but it's not going to do enough to keep him alive, and Misfortune will claim that kill. They don't go on to Super Raise afterwards because it's a bit too early level for that, and she is fairly heavy on health as it stands with that early heart of gold.
Meanwhile, mid, Celeber going straight onto Kaltard, ultimate has been popped, misses the Tibbers, it's a minion though, flashes over the wall, and another flash from Celeber. Foxfires goes down, looking to follow up on this one. Dose Pro coming in from the side as well to secure that, and will not get the assist, but that was an easy kill. Meanwhile, bottom Super is getting taken out under the tower by Steve and Ednex, and as you said before, Misfortune using that ultimate just to clear the minions.
Yeah, I honestly don't see a great use in it for out and out killing people with bullet time. Oh, we are going to have Nocturne running on towards Kelova. Needs to be careful because Dota Pro is in hot pursuit with that depth charge. It's going to knock up Goats, and he could be going down here as a plethora of damage comes in. Kelova will claim the kill there. And yeah, that may have looked fairly comfortable at one stage for Nocturne, but suddenly the roles were reversed and he had to go back got caught with that depth charge, and there's only one way that fight was going, and that was with Nocturne's death. So it has moved to a 6-3. So awesome stuff all around the map here, lots and lots of action early on.
Yeah, and you could kind of say that was the same for the rest of the team. They were in that aggressive position and they kind of just wanted to push it down. And Acer isn't that type of team which is going to allow themselves to be bullied, and they just showed the fact that they're not going to allow that to happen. Oh, our boss and Pukey style taking a lot of damage, just potentially could be a kill. Astral Blessing's gone down, and there it is. Fist of Fury from Steve.
Well, we were both like, okay, Misfortune isn't necessarily the first AD that comes to mind, but with Nunu and the Impure Shots, you just saw there how much damage it does. Incredible damage. And I'm just going to read out here what Impure Shots does. When you activate it, her attack speed is increased by 35%. For how many seconds is it? It's going to be for 6 seconds, and the healing is reduced by 50%. So against Soraka, that's really, really strong. She can't really do much to negate that damage that's coming in. Here comes Nocturne for the gank at bot lane. Ignite has been popped off to stop the heal on herself, and she will be getting dropped. There we go. Goats will pick that one up. In the meantime, Nautilus has started to move his way towards bot lane, but too little too late from his team's viewpoint, and he's not going to be able to do anything to retaliate against that onslaught. So quick 8-3, and the goal difference just slowly starting to streak up here in that Team Megashock's favour, about 2.3k ahead after 12 minutes. So let's have a quick look. As you can see, Nautilus starting to push into the opposition's jungle, has popped down a ward there onto Raids, and Ari in the meantime has moved down from the river, so maybe trying to set up a gank, but it doesn't look likely. Smite was used there just to pick up that big Wraith from a Dota Pro.
Meanwhile, top Acer 760 going straight onto El Mupo, taking a lot of damage. One more auto cycle finish him off, and he kites out of there.
Ooh.
That was close, but with the minions there as well, just ticking down with the damage. Those caster minions are too strong. Oliver looking for the finish.
Kelliver.
And he get it. I think he knows where he is as well. Can he pass the minion line?
Oh!
Oh, ultimates go down onto the minions. Not the person he wants.
Man. The thing is, he probably won't be too frustrated with that, because I don't think he knew just how close that was there. But if he had the benefit of our vision, I'm pretty sure he'd have been on the edge of his seat screaming. And bot lane, we are going to have more action once again, as Soraka will get dropped here from the Misfortune Nunu combination. So strong. Ezreal's trying his best to retaliate. The Absolute Zero has been popped off from Steve. How much damage it can do? Not too much, but it did manage to slow Ezreal down, so he could not keep up the pursuit onto Misfortune. So close with the True Shot barrage. Wow. And with Misfortune with 350 health remaining, and Ezreal doing 420 in fact, that probably would have claimed the kill. So very, very close action at that bot lane once again, but a bit of a deja vu, a bit of a carbon copy here, Pulse, of that game that we casted first, where Team Acer even. I'm thinking because Pulse fight Ezreal, and I'm casting with you as well, it just kind of screws with my mind. But Team Acer started really, really poorly, but they still managed to make the comeback happen.
Yeah, but that being said, we've talked about this before, that the fact Team Megashock are an extremely strong team. And I don't think they're going to let it slide as easily that Icons. I know, despite they are an extremely strong team, and not to take that away from them, but Team Megashock are like top 8 material, and I don't think they're going to just let it slide. Basically, they're just going to insert their teeth into Acer and not let go.
That's true. I mean, we mentioned this before we actually went live, that it was almost like Icons of Vanity had lacked that killer instinct, and Team Megashock really won't. They will go for the jugular. As soon as they sense a bit of weakness, they're going to push forward very, very heavy. So, whereas last game Tristana Puckystar was allowed to farm up, and when it got towards that mid to late stages of the matchup, she had a Last Whisper, a Phantom Dancer, and Infinity Edge, which was more than enough to take down the likes of Nautilus. This time around, I'm not so sure that Team Megashock are going to allow Puckystar to get himself farmed up. I think they're going to keep pushing like they are right now with Nunu. Look at this damage that's being put down on Puckystar. In the meantime, we are going to have a Paranoia popped off from Nocturne. Unspeakable Horror onto Puckystar as well. That is the second or third tower dive that we've seen in about as many minutes. Now Super Ace is trying his best to get away. Ice Blast has been popped down. Misfortune should be able to claim this kill. Indeed she will. So that's going to be a cleanup at bot lane. And this is what I was talking about before. Team Megashock will just keep pushing all day long. They do not care about towers. They're going to claim those kills. And it's now going to be a 4 against 1 on Dragon, so this should be a free Drake on top of everything else to go in that Team Acer's kind of downfall.
Yeah, there's very little they can do. I mean, Nautilus can't even go for the steal because Kalton's doing a great job of zoning. He's a burst caster, he's not a sustain caster. He's not going to be on the Drake. His job is kind of to zone that jungler out, zone those couple of people out so that he can't go for the steal. And I'd just like to draw your attention back to that last dive. Nunu did a great job. A lot of bruisers forget that you need to get vision of anyone who jukes into a brush, and he used himself as a ward right there, and he just put himself so Misfortune could follow up on that one. And that's really awkward when your bruiser or your melee does not go in range and you can't hit them because you've lost vision. So that was really good play by Steve right there.
Oh, and Kennen could be under all kinds of trouble. The tower has just fallen, so that Sanctuary is no longer going to be upstanding tall with him, and Aurelio will pick up the kill with Dota Pro getting the assist. So again, we're just seeing tower dives aplenty in this game. Irelia, let's have a quick look at some of the CS. Zanny will take down Ari in mid lane. Apologies for missing that one. Looks like it was a Tibbers stun. And as you said before, that is kind of her main strength with the flash as well. She can just pop in there and drop so much damage in a short period of time, and there's very little that you can do in retaliation. It can actually be picking up this mid tower. But let's have a quick look at some of the CS. So you're going to have at top lane Aurelia, 135 is 1-for-1, and she is against a Kennen who's on 98 creep score with a 2-for-1, so it's going to be relatively even up there. But remember, of course, that TMsK did pick up the dragon on top of that. We're not going to have bridge line used from Nautilus in amongst all that onto Annie, but not really going to follow up onto anything afterwards. And the mid tower actually didn't go down, so it has, let's have a quick look, 740 health points or thereabouts remaining. 12-4 up our TMsK. But Team Acer do have that slight advantage on turrets as they have just picked up the one so far.
Yeah, Nautilus did a good job there defending against the Nocturne and Annie. She was running out of mana, however, but he couldn't really follow up on that because his Titan's Draft was popped, and as soon as the Titan's Draft is popped, he loses a huge amount of damage, basically, and he just can't really do much as a damage potential champion.
It's quite scary that Annie actually has a needlessly large rod at the moment and also blasting one, so she could be going for that Rabadon's death cap relatively shortly. She has 575 gold, got an early Cage's lucky pick, so that gold per 10 is going to work wonders for her. She also has that blue buff, so Ari is going to be very, very cautious. She's in a precarious position in that lane at the moment. Let's have a look at top laners. We are going to have an engage this time on 760. That's a Paranoia and Slicing Maelstrom combination. Hasn't quite taken it down just yet. She's going to go back into the fray once again. Beautiful Blade Surge and the Flash as well with the Transcendent Blades, and she should be just fine. A masterclass of juking and escaping that from 760 on Irelia. And somehow...
Meanwhile, bottom, sorry, Steve popping the ultimate, and we'll go get the shutdown onto Misfortune. Super is coming in from behind as well, will not get picked off. Steve trying to get out there, ultimate goes down by Salazar as well. Hit by the Charm and the Orb of Deception. He will be falling. 2 kills right down at bottom, but they will get top tower.
It's just incredible. It just seems that whenever there's action at top, there's action at bottom.
Yeah.
It's just all over the map, all the time. There is no room to breathe in this matchup, which is obviously awesome to cast on. So at 12-6, goal difference 3.2k. Make that a tiny bit more. Now it's going to be 4 or so k, as that tower did just go down. So fairly interesting stuff overall. But it's still early stages. Team Acer are definitely still in this game. It's not all she wrote just yet. Another tower is just about to go down there from the purple team of Team Acer, so they again take that tower lead and bring it back to 3k difference. Let's have a look at some of the items being built up here. Ezreal's got the Brutalizer, as we mentioned before, but he has 2,000 gold in his back pocket to spend. And comparing that to Misfortune, who has an early Phantom Dancer and Pickaxe and 720 gold. Annie with 1,720 gold, so she could go back and finish off that Rabadon's death cap if she so chooses. And you also have a Wit's End on Irelia. And if you compare that to Kennen, he has a needlessly large rod and the Hextech revolver. So lots of items being built up here, but still too close to call how this game is going to go down.
Oh, the burst from Kaltar just chunked off a quarter of Dota Pro's health. That's, yeah, it's starting to get scary. And this is what they're thinking about right now. They have Annie, they have Kennen. They're going to scale into that mid game extremely well. They have the initiation from Nocturne, they have the ultimate as well from Misfortune, which was rather good in those mid game fights. and of course she's so strong as an AD carry in that sort of mid-game area, it's going to start looking nasty for them. They kind of need picks, and they have a good picking team, but they can't face off straight up 5 versus 5. It's just not going to happen. Yeah, they're only a couple K behind, and it's not as desperate as it may look, but composition wise they'll probably lose those fights. They can't really peel into them. A lot of them are sort of close range mages, and of course Nocturne's right there along with Steve. It's just a lot of AoE and stun lockdown as well, and the base damage from Nunu is not to be forgotten, so gotta be careful with that one.
Yeah, absolutely. We do have a couple players moving down towards Ezreal. He has to be careful. There is no tower up here, but Nocturne isn't anywhere to be found, and Nautilus is pushing into it. Now a 3 versus 2 situation. How quickly can Nautilus take these players down? Nocturne has popped his ulti to get in there. Bullet time has been popped, but doing such little damage is pretty much negligible, as Annie will go on to Ezreal. And now it's all hell breaking loose at bot lane. Dota Pro trying his best to get out of dodge. He's surely going to get taken out from the combination of Nocturne and Kennen. In the meantime, Aurelia will shut down Annie. And now they're going to be pushing onto this 3-player strong lineup of Team Megashock. Nunu is quite slow. He only has the boots of speed, so is he going to be the option here? He has popped the Blood Boiler, which of course gives him a movement speed bonus. And we are going to have the Equilibrium Strike going on to Goats. He's also caught the Charm for his troubles, and the Ignite Slicing Maelstrom comes out from Kennen. He's forced to flash away. Lots of damage being put down from Aurelia, and also Ari. That's going to be the kill. Absolute Zero was taken out of the equation from Steve, just trying to slow down the opposition, maybe do some additional damage. He has started to move around with that Blood Boil towards his mid tower, and he seems to have held off the Team Acer lineup for long enough that they're just going to basically go and take Dragons, so saving his own skin. But we said this before, Team Acer at the beginning of this match looked like they were way behind, and suddenly it's 14 for 9 and a Drake surely going into their hands as well.
That was really nice. They need fights like that, where it's not like a straight up team fight. There are all sorts of separators. You've got those 1v2s, 2v1s, 3v2s and 1 versus 1s all over the place, and it's kind of like fragmented, and that's what they need. They've got great duelists, and Ari saving that ultimate until the very end, didn't burst down Annie, knew that was a secure kill, and her AD carry be able to mop that one up, and then use that to finish off another couple people. So excellent play, and they need fights like that. They need to get those sorts of mini picks and then follow-ups.
For sure. I mean, as I was saying in that team fight, Miss Fortune's ultimate was just kind of like negligible. It didn't really do anything. It was hitting Soraka a few times, but she was, you know, just heal herself back up again, no problems whatsoever. And that's kind of one of the weaknesses of Miss Fortune. She doesn't have one of those ultimates that really game changes. You think of an Ashe, the arrow can really initiate. You think of a Graves, collateral damage and a lot of bursty kind of damage all over the place. Kog'Maw's ultimate even isn't necessarily the biggest damage in the game, but you can snipe off players that are trying to run away, and it gives you a sight on them as well. So all useful. Bullet time, not really in the same category. Sure, it's good for clearing creep waves or putting additional damage on top of everything else, but it's not going to change the balance of the game, especially the later on it goes. So you have to feel that Team Acer have a real glimmer of hope here to pull this one back. Gold-wise, they've definitely bridged that gap some, well, a lot actually. It's only 1.5k. We are going to have an engage here as Kennen will go with a slicing maelstrom. Lots and lots of damage. Bullet time has been popped in amongst that. Annie pops down the Tibbers. It does so much damage, but she's going to go down. That's a 3-for-1 exchange so far. Can they pull this one back? And Team Megashock actually come out on top there. And that's pretty much down to that Tibbers destroying Team Acer. Did so much damage. Kennen is on low health as well, but they are just going to recall. So 17 for 10 now. And that's really where Team Megashock come good. Those claustrophobic team fights where Annie can drop the Tibbers is pretty much theirs for the taking.
I don't know why Dota Pro engaged. Yes, it's near their tower, but Annie didn't even need to flash Tibbers. They came to her, which is like the perfect opportunity for her. But this is the thing, they're so strong right now, and we've commented on this several times, but that double AP comp, mid-game right now, they're just going to win outright. You can try and outplay them, it's not going to happen. Just them with their composition is just going to pull through. It's too strong. They need to wait it out, wait past mid-game when they start to scale off a bit, and then start picking people off. But you can't go for an engage like that, especially when it's, as you said, close quarters. You've got Kaltar with Annie, and then El Mupo, and then Steve as well, not to be forgotten. So there's not much they can do, and of course Steve can peel really well in that sort of scenario. They can't really get near Miss Fortune, and of course now they're going to go for the Baron. and Ezreal is bottom. There's very little they can do to respond.
That's just map awareness right there from Team Megashock. They're like, okay, Ezreal's at bot lane, that's a big chunk of their damage gone, let's just pick up Baron. They took it completely without any kind of retaliation whatsoever. I mean, Irelia had a quick think there, 760 came down, saw that Baron was getting taken, so they are going to have the timer on it at least. And they're going to know it's going to come up about 31:45 or somewhere in that vicinity, but other than that, there's absolutely nothing that they could have done in that situation. So, yeah, Team Megashock looking stronger and stronger. Annie with a Deathfire Grasp and also a Rabadon's Death Cap. Currently, let's have a quick look at what ability power that she's rocking out. 455 at 26 minutes. That is something to really note down. Ari, in the meantime, has a Riley's Crystal Scepter and an Abyssal Scepter as well. She has half the ability power that Annie does, 221.
Yeah, this is really a problem for them right now, and that was the thing, that engage basically cost them the Baron as well, not only with Ezreal being bottom, but they couldn't contest at all after that fight. That being said, they're only around 3k behind, but it's just, those characters are so strong right now, and they have the gold where they want it to be, so there you go. Steve has 4 kills actually, so I don't know, but yeah, they just need to wait it out, and right now they're gonna just force it down their throats, and there's very little they can do to respond. Maybe under a tower, but even this tier 2 turret I don't think will protect them.
Yeah, I mean, the Team Megashock right now have a few options open. They have Baron, so they can go ahead and split and do a lot of damage, but there's the Annie ultimate once again. Kennen following in. Could have overextended, but he doesn't have this on his hourglass. Bullet time being popped, and the Nunu ultimate. So much AoE damage is going down here from Team Megashock. They've just picked up the first kill. Annie, in the meantime, is going to try her best to stay at the back of this team fight. She's on so low health. El Mupo as well is very, very close to going down, but neither of them do, so prime positioning from them. Now Puckystyle coming under a nightmare from Misfortune is also going to feel the force of the Pirate Hunter, and she is now going to be going on towards that inhib tower, and there's absolutely nothing that Team Acer can do. Dota Pro's on low health, you got 760 on pretty much no health having to recall, and the inhib is going to go down. Wow, Team Megashock are looking strong.
Yeah, right now that was kind of the point where they got stronger. And yeah, it was okay, it was a 3k advantage, but now they've just widened the gap. And right now they're in the prime of what they should be doing. They're in that mid game, they've still got a good like 5 minutes left of where they're strong, and because they're above the curve, they've probably got slightly longer than that as well. It's looking grim right now for Acer. It's hard, and they're looking for picks, but I honestly can't see it happening. They're not going to split up at this stage, not stupidly at least. Maybe they could look for mistakes, but that's all they can do right now. They actually burst on Celeber in that fight, and it didn't do as much as I expected, at least the Tibbers, but they just pushed through and took a tower instead.
Yeah, awesome play, and this for me is the main difference between your Team Megashocks and your Icons of Vanity. And no disrespect meant to Icon of Vanity, but at this kind of stage of the game, they were starting to make slight mishaps. They were allowing Puckystyle to farm. But look at Team Megashock. As I said before, they're going for the jugular. They get the team fights, they go and take Baron. They get the team fights, they go take Dragon. They take the inhibs, and it's very difficult for Team Acer to actually get any farm right now, because there's a constant presence of Team Megashock could be anywhere. Have a quick look at the ward coverage right now from Team Acer. It is pretty much zero. They have one ward around the raids, and that's about it. Okay, they've got another ward around blue, but it's just so little coverage. They have no coverage over Dragon. They have no idea if it's gone down yet or not. And it's so easy for Team Megashock to just push around the map here and pick up the jungle. Irelia has just face checked into a 4-man strong Team Megashock, and that's what I'm talking about. With very little vision, those kind of mistakes are inevitably going to happen. And now a 4v5 for 40 seconds at least is going to be enough chance for Megashock to actually pick up their second tower inhib if they so choose so.
I think that's another inhib right there after that pick. They've got a minion wave coming in. They have okay clear, but it's not amazing right now. They might choose to back off. I mean, top's looking good as well, but I think this is going to push this one through right into their inhib, and they can't really fight that at all. If they're going to fight, they have to do it now, otherwise they have to back off. But that was a really good pick, and I think they are going to go back off. They cleared it too quickly, in fact. Eat my words.
Yeah, they did damage it down though to 1,116 health, so They do a fairly decent job regardless. Couple of recalls are going to go in. Nocturne is going to go back. I can only imagine how much gold they have to play with here. Nocturne is going to finish off a Chain Vest. He has a Phage and Aegis of the Legion. You're going to have Misfortune with a Dream build as far as ADs go. Last Whisper, Phantom Dancer, Infinity Edge around 30 minutes. Ezreal did indeed go for that Trinity Force after the Brutalizer. And you're also going to have Annie with, well, just crazy items all over the map right now for Team Megashock. Azoni's Hourglass and an Abyssal Scepter on Kennen, so he can just fly on in there with this Slicing Maelstrom and be invulnerable for a couple of seconds, and that's going to allow Annie to just put down the pain. And you've also got a Locket of the Iron Solari, so in those kind of claustrophobic team fights, they're going to have additional tankiness there, as Nunu can shield himself and nearby enemy allies for 50 and plus 10 per level. So it's crazy stuff coming in from Team Megashock right now.
Oh my, this could be another pick. I think it might be. Snowball to the face. Getting away. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, wow, it's Irelia dying as well. This just reminds me of Darian. I don't know if you saw that game. It was being streamed and he just got caught like 4 times in a row. This was horrible. And it just meant Barons and Towers, exactly what's happening right now.
Yeah, I mean, 760 has been caught with his pants down a couple of times in No Man's Land, and he has been, you know, forced to pay with his life. And that's going to be a tower as well, so his team are being forced to pay. Deathfire Grasp was used from Annie just onto Ari, did a lot of damage there. And they're going to be pushing back, and this is really what Baron turns into. It just allows you to put those wards down. Nunu has had an Oracle for a long time in this match, so lots of ward coverage down from Team Megashock. If you have a quick look at their map, they have huge coverage of vision on the enemy's jungle, and on the flip side, well, there's basically no ward coverage whatsoever now that Nunu just picked that one up from Team Acer's perspective on Baron. So it allows Megashock just to push around wherever they please, take the jungle, take the side lanes, and really snowball this goal out of control. Now 51.8k to 44.8.
Yeah, this is exactly what we were talking about though. They're like a Rottweiler. They just sink their teeth into them and they don't let go at all. And they keep on pushing, keep on pushing. Look at all those aggressive wards. They know they're ahead. Aggressive wards go down. We're ahead again. We push in the lanes. They're always on the back foot. They're confining them basically to their half of the map. They can't push out without being picked. And even just then, you just saw Irelia get picked off in their own jungle. And that's basically what it is right now.
Oh well, this could be the moment where Acer actually pull this one back, because Baron has been started. Trillian's referee was popped there. Slicing Maelstrom instantly back though, and you can see how split up Team Acer are right now. Celeber right at the back is trying to do as much damage as possible. 2 kills have came in. Nautilus and Annie have both gone down. Irelia also has been taken out. Pucky Style gets taken for the recipient of that double kill from Misfortune, and Ari will go on to Nocturne, but she can't get the double there, and Steve will take her down and halt that onslaught in its tracks. So that was a 4-for-2 exchange, and now Team Megashock feel they can just push this one forward. There is a naked inhibitor that they can pick up here, and also if you have a quick look at bot lane, the minions are pushing, so they could actually pick up 2 inhibs if they so choose, or just try and finish it outright on the Nexus towers. But again, beautiful team composition coming in from Team Megashock. So much AoE. Kennen with Hourglass too strong.
Yeah, in that team fight, they were kind of split up, and yeah, GG, well played. That Nexus is going to fall. That was a good team fight for them. Everyone was split up, the AoE was hitting minimum amounts of people, but it still wasn't enough for them to pull the victory. And Acer they played it well, but as we said, Team Megashock just didn't let that advantage go, and that is just a trademark of a great team.
Definitely, it's the difference between a really good team and a really great team, is that kind of instinctiveness to just take the kind of advantage and make it a victory. Some teams really falter, they kind of fail at that finish line, and the likes of a Team Megashock are simply not going to do that. As soon as they sense weakness, they're going to continue to push forward all day long, all night long, and there's no way you can bring yourself back from that kind of situation. So congratulations to them. And I've actually just received an invitation there from Blade Master, so I'm guessing they're just going to go straight. They're just going to go straight into this next game, the finals. So it looks like it's going to be the finals between Better Buff Nidalee and Team Megashock here. Sorry, I was just answering a Skype question there. from the admin. So yeah, we do have the two teams waiting to crack on here. 9 players in the lobby. I think we'll go for a quick commercial music break, guys, because we have 9 players in, and I think Team Megashock probably want a couple minutes break, and our streamer is just sorting out some technical difficulties while he can rejoin the game, because apparently it bugged the first time. So I'm going to quickly go for a commercial break. When we rejoin us, we'll be ready for the live grand finals here of the 4PL Play for Fame. Don't go anywhere. This game is going to be awesome.